Hearty welcome to all of you. As a part of our research videos, this video is mainly concentrated on the types of sampling techniques that are used in the research. In the last video, we have discussed about the planning of data collection procedures. We thought some of the people asked for sampling techniques, and we thought that we will develop one small and simple presentation as well as a video on this one. Let us go through the concepts one by one here. Very first, let us identify what is meant by sampling. Now, first of all, let us have the definition of the sample. Actually, sample is referred as a small collection or a set of data which a person who is doing research, the researcher, selects from a vast population. There is larger amount of population based upon the predefined criterion or conditions or methods. This is how the sample here it is defined. Coming to the sampling, it actually a process of selecting the members or work or units from a population of interest. For example, if I am working on some database like lung cancer, or if I'm working on data set of brain tumor, I search for different categories here. Among them is abnormality. I put some conditions there. Like that, we divide so many samples. Now, this is called as sampling process that happens from a larger population that are interest. Now, coming to the types of the sampling problems or sampling techniques available. Very first one is the probabilistic method, which depends upon the theory of probability. And the second one is the non-probabilistic procedure of sampling technique. Now we will go into the point by point of what they are, how they are divided into different types. Very first is the probabilistic sampling. Actually, it is a method of sampling which chooses from larger population such that it utilizes some form of a random selection. We might have different conditions here. Now, the researcher put down a procedure such that the data or the units which in the population have the equal chances of being chosen. That is how the probabilistic sampling work goes on. Now, moving from that part, let us go one by one into what are the different types of probabilistic sampling techniques we are having. Very first one is the random sampling procedure. And in other sense, this is also called as simple random sampling. Here, what happens is every member or every unit in the population has the equal chance of selection. Means we see that it follows the 50-50 chances. There is equal chances of selection in the database. Means if we take a brain tumor data set, suddenly when you choose them, we can have the chance of having the individual of having affected with the brain tumor or not affected with the brain tumor. That is one example for random sampling. Next one is systematic sampling. Here, they are preferred at regular intervals or chosen at regular intervals of the time or regular intervals of the packet size. Now, it is easier to have the systematic sampling than the random, because in the random, we don't know which one is going to take in the selection. But here, in the systematic, we preserve a condition that it is at regular intervals. Means if one data set is selected, the another data will come next. Like that, we put a systematic. That's why it is easier to have this particular type of sampling than the previous random sampling procedure. The next one is stratified sampling. Okay, it is very nice and sophisticated word, stratified. Now, whenever the population or the data what is available with you, the population of data, available with us, it shows as the mixed characteristics. Mixed characteristics means we don't have like only one or two or three categories. We have so many. Then that in those type, this method is particularly utilized, that is stratified. Now here what happens, this particular stratified sampling, when we are having different amounts of mixed characteristics, they are depending upon their own conditions and their own behavior, they will be divided into subgroups. That's why it is called as stratified sampling. The last one in the probabilistic sampling is the cluster sampling. Here, instead of simple sampling like in the previous one, individuals are into subgroups. Here, the subgroups themselves, the word cluster itself called as a grouping. The subgroups themselves are randomly selected. Like it is a combination of stratified as well as random sampling methods. Means the subgroups themselves are randomly selected in the cluster type of sampling procedure. Now moving from cluster sampling, we go into the methods of non-probabilistic sampling. Here it is a sample selection which uses non-random ways. In the previous one we said random ways. Here it is a non-random ways to select a particular group of the data such that it can be useful in our research work. This is how we take the non-probabilistic type of sampling procedure. Now moving towards their types, what they are. Very first among them is convenience. Convenience type of non-probabilistic method. What happens here is it contains the individuals which are easily accessible to the researcher. Means in convenience, as the word says convenience, the researchers have the easiest way to gather about that particular population, that member. Now here what happens, for example, if I know a particular person who I can go for, means offer my contacts to reach, then I take that person as the non-probabilistic sampling belonging to the convenience non-probabilistic sampling procedure. For example, let me take one small example here. For example, if we have a big stadium or big supermarket, and in that supermarket we go and start asking the questions to the people standing there, picking simply one by one, that type of will be very easy for us because they are easily approachable for us. That is how this so-called convenience sampling comes into picture. Next one, the voluntary. The word says voluntary. As we all know, voluntary means on the own. Here, people are the subjects themselves. Instead of we go to them, they come to the researcher to choosing. Means for the purpose of selection. Means it is considered as a type of non-probability sampling technique. The participants themselves who want to get into the research procedure, they are self-chosen and they are not selected by the researcher on a random basis. This is how it is called. In other words, we can call it as self-chosen. And the next one is purposive. As the word says, purposive, on the purpose of what is the, it is like researchers completely rely on their own judgment while they choose the members to participate in their research. Members in the population they want to choose there. research. Means here sample that, let me tell you a keyword here, the judgments. Here researchers use their own judgments to select a sample that is most useful for their research work. It is purposive type of non-probabilistic sampling. For example, we can take an example here. If we are going for applying for some education, higher education in some of the universities, and we say that we use our own knowledge, which one to decide depending upon type of the branch we are going to choose, using our own expert knowledge and which type of university I have to choose. Let it be a central government or state government or private or a deemed one. Like that, we go for different types of universities. We pick up from them with their characteristics, and then we sample them and identify which type of university I want to go at the end. This is the best example for purposive. And most advantages are there. It helps us to have our own interest and arrive at a good amount of expected outcomes. Here, this purposive sampling technique allows the researcher to gather qualitative responses, which leads to get good outcomes and the precise amount of final findings in the research. And the last but not the least, snowball type of sampling. As the word says, snowball, in this sampling, the number of people or number of the members who we choose have the access to snowballs as we come into contact with more people. The word snowball here means what happens, we choose, let me explain in simple words, is the participants recruit other participants for a test. Means we choose them. In the research, we choose them or recruit them. Mainly, we call that they are chosen. Means it is used where potential participants or main research members to participate in the sampling process are not available. At that point, it is the duty of the researcher to recruit or to employ some participants or members for our study. That type of sampling procedure is referred as snowball. Means we have the ball rolling, it picks up more snow. Let me clear you the word. Snowball means as we have small ball of snow and we have thrown it, it picks up small, what you call, along the way, it picks up the snow and becomes the larger and the larger. Means it is like a chain. We select two people and ask the two people to select another two people. And we just ask them to go for another two people. Likewise, we get the good amount of population for our research in the basis of recruitment or employment. This is how the snowball type of non-probabilistic sampling is used. And let me say that this one is the extensively used, snowball is the extensively used non-probabilistic sampling. Why? Because wherever a particular amount of population is unknown and rare, for some applications in the research, they are unknown. We don't get the members to participate. At that time, it is tough for us to identify which type of subject I want. Means in some of the researchers, like if you take some big researchers like those who have been not attended for from so many years, like some medical applications in which some data is not at all available, then it is our work to go to the hospitals, to go to the radiologists to collect the imaging database from them. That type of, we have to our own put some money or recruit them to get our work done. This is the point where snowball type of researching comes into one. And these are the types of sampling techniques that are very useful in the research process. And I hope this video has helped you to identify what are the different types of sampling techniques, what is sampling, where they are used, which type of examples they use. This is how this probabilistic and non-probabilistic sampling techniques help you to understand the basic concepts which are more probably used in the statistical part of our research work to make our data into a good amount of data. I request you to please give suggestions, even though we are struggling to give you a non-stop amount of videos. Sometimes we have our own apprehensions while preparing the videos. It is your encouragement that helps us to prepare more videos and come with more ideas. I request you to please subscribe our videos, share them, like them, watch them, and provide your constructive comments such that we can help the researchers and academicians throughout the world. Our team are trying to get some more videos of more interest towards the academics and research areas. Thank you for listening our videos.